Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Maryland Darling Show, and welcome to the last episode of 30 Inks, 30 Days. How is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day wherever you are in the world. Today, we are looking at a yellowish, brownish, weird... Alexa, stop. Ink from the Birmingham Pen Company. Burlywood. Thanks go out to Gary and Kathy Scott for providing the sample for this review. Alright. Before we start, we're going to share this with our friends so that they can come and hang out with us too. I'm going to share it to copy the embedded code. We're going to share it to the Reddit. And the Tumblr needs the embedded code. Post. And then the Twitter. And the 30 Inks 30 Days Pinterest. And the Facebook. And the LinkedIn. And the Blogger. It looks like everything was cooperative today. That's great. Oops. Facebook. Okay. All right. Very good. Here we go. All right. This is our ink of the day. I'm going to bring up the lights just a little bit so we can see. This is kind of a brownish ink. It's definitely a brown ink. It has a little bit of shading in it. Today's pen, I'm using the Literati desk pen with a Franklin Christoph flex nib. I do not like this flex nib, I gotta tell ya. It's too stiff. Much prefer my Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex nibs. But the Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex nibs don't fit in a normal Yovo number 6 size housing. They have to be in a Noodler's pen or in a Fountain Pen Revolution Himalaya. Alright, so this does have a little bit of shading going on. Very nice, very nice. Here is our ink swatch and water resistance test shows. It does have a little bit of water resistance, but not quite enough that I would want to put this on the outside of an envelope. Here's our last ink painting. Looks very nice. And here's our toilet paper chromatography. I do see that you can see where that ink that stayed behind is. And you might put it on the outside of an envelope, but I wouldn't. It might make the... Oh, excuse me. It might make the whole background of this smushy. There is a blackness to it, and then right along here there's like a murky brownness, but then there's just yellow, which I wasn't really expecting yellow. I mean, maybe a little bit of yellow. In the water, it looks green. See, in the water, it looks almost neon green. It's weird. Alright, let's take a look at some paper review, shall we? Alright, this is the Pen and Gear Memo book from Walmart.com. Like, why is this frozen? Oh, that's why. Alright, here's our ink. This is the Pen and Gear Memo book from Walmart.com. Nice shading, no feathering, no bleeding, little bit of ghosting. A little bit. This is lightweight traveler's notebook paper. Nice sheen. There's a little bit of sheen going on. That's interesting. A little bit of green sheen. That's very interesting. No feathering, no bleeding, but a little bit of ghosting. Super lightweight traveler's notebook paper. Again, with a green sheen. That's very interesting. Nice shading, no feathering, normal amount of ghosting. This is Moleskin 70 GSM paper. I don't see any sheen. A little bit of shading, and it is feathering like a chicken. And it did bleed through the page. Too bad. This is Field Notes Journal. Excuse me. Oops, wrong button. Totally just blew you out. Sorry. These are like backwards. I don't know how to fix it. I'll deal with that after the stream. Field Notes Journal. It is like railroading. Oh, for God's sake, if I could just never yawn again, that would be great. So, it did railroad, and it's feathering through the page, and bled through the page. This is Ayush 100 GSM paper. Nice shading, tiny bit of sheen. No feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. This is Fabriano Eco Qua 85 GSM. Nice shading, I don't see any sheen. No feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. 52 GSM Tomoe River. Oh, there's a little bit of green sheen. That's interesting. A little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. A little bit of, tiniest bit of ghosting. Okay, this is Leuchtturm 1917. 80 GSM. 80 GSM? Why does that sound weird? I think it's 80 GSM. Now I'm not sure. $80 GSM. Yep. Okay. Alright, so Leuchtturm 1917. Nice shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghost, a lot of bit of ghosting. This is Midori MD paper. A little bit of sheen, a little bit of shading, no feathering, a little bit of bleeding. I'm sorry, no bleeding, but a little bit of ghosting. This is the journal from the Dollar Tree. I don't see any sheen. Tiny bit of feathering on that L. Other than that, there's no feathering, little bit of bleeding, little bit of ghosting. I am not tired, you guys. I don't know what the hell. Every time I get under, it's like 1 o'clock, I have a yawning fest. And I don't yawn after that for the rest of the day. Not once. So, I don't know what the hell. This is Marimon Namasane 80 GSM dot grid. A little bit of shading. No real feathering. One little tiny bit of bleed through, but other than that, there's no bleeding, no ghosting. This is Oxford Optic paper. Nice shading, barely any feathering, little bit of bleeding, little bit of ghosting. Clairefontaine 90 GSM. Nice sheen, nice shading. No feathering. No bleeding, barely any ghosting. Lamy Booklet 90 GSM. Nice shading, barely any feathering. Little bit of bleeding, little bit of ghosting. Exceed 100 GSM heavyweight paper from Walmart.com. Nice shading, no feathering. Little bit of bleeding, little bit of ghosting. Up and Up wide roll notebook paper from Target.com. Nice shading, no feathering. Sorry. A little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. I swear to God, if I never yawned for the rest of my life, it'd be just fine by me. This is True Red composition book from Staples.com. Oy. Nice shading, but it is feathering like a chicken, and it did bleed through the page. Apica notebook paper. I like this paper so far. Don't notice my writing. I kind of did a swoop-de-boop here and then another little swoop-de-boop there. Those aren't feathers. Those are just my crazy writing. There's nice shading, no feathering. Have to hold it up to light to figure out where the writing is. There's no bleeding and no ghosting. I don't know what that is. Let's see what it was yesterday. That's a violet. And the one above that was La Cour Royale. So this is where today's ink is. And there's just one little tiny dot of bleed through. So that's pretty good. This paper's good. And it was cheap too. Alright, this is the Nanami 7 Seas 68 GSM Tumaway River. Ooh, nice sheen. Nice shading. No feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Rhodia Dot Pad 80 GSM. Nice shading, no feathering. A little bit of bleeding, but barely any ghosting. Artist Loft 100 GSM paper. There is no feathering. Little bit of bleeding, little bit of ghosting. Buffet handmade paper from Italy. Oi. Feather like a chicken, no bleeding and barely any ghosting. U-Style notebook paper. A little bit of spread, a little bit of shading, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. CVS Caliber notebook paper. Beautiful sheen. This is probably of the best of the sheeners. A little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, but a little hint of ghosting. Oxford notebook paper. Another one of the good shaders. Sheeners, shaders, no feathering, no bleeding, but a little bit of ghosting. Mead wide rolled notebook paper. No sheen. It is a little bit of shading. Lots of feathering. Bled right through the page. 5-star notebook paper. A little bit of shading. It is feathering, and it did bleed through the page. Sheffield home goods paper. no sheen. Shading, a little bit of spread, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. This is that speckled paper. No sheen. A little bit of shading, a little bit of spread. But other than the crease, there's no real bleeding and no real ghosting. This is Acabee cross-section pad. No sheen, nice shading, no feathering. A little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. HP Premium 32-pound copy paper. Nice shading, a little bit of spread. Little tiny hint of bleed through, but other than that, no bleeding, no ghosting. JNB copper plate graph pad from johnneilbooks.com. Oi! Oh no. It's feathering really bad. A little bit of shading, and it did bleed and ghost through the page. Original Crown Mail 100 GSM paper. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Nice shading, a little bit of spread, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Okay. Right back. I'm gonna fix that little yawnings red wagon right now. Take that, yawning. Today is laundry day. Ugh. If you guys know me, you know how much I hate doing laundry. I haven't started yet, but I'm already thinking thoughts about putting it off till tomorrow, because I just do not want to do it. In the back of my head, I'm like, you're gonna be so much happier once you do it, and it's all over with. Alright, let's do this. This is Birmingham, Burlywood, next to Noodler's Rome Burning, Diamond Tobacco Sunburst. This is like super close. Golden Brown, Cognac Brown, oops. Autumn Oak, Encre Brune, Terracotta, Kiowa Pecan, Sepia, Urban Sienna. This one's kind of close too. Pumpkin Cake, Brandy Snap, KWZ Honey. That one's kind of close. Nude, Raw Sienna, Golden Brown. This one's a little close too. Chocolate Pudding, Beaver, William Shakespeare, Umi Murasaki. Uh-oh. Okay, no, okay. Umi Murasaki, Encre Havane, Vampire Red, Hippo Purple, Red Black, Lady the, Gets in Yabarna, Noodlers Polar Brown, Ochre, Monarcha Monarcha Tiara Colorada, Espionary Brown, Chocolate Brown, Carcos Brown, Winter Spice, Summer Solstice, Becky, Walnut, Nightshade, Crystal Topaz, Scotch Brown, Yule Log, Queen of Hearts, Brown Sugar, Infinite Cube, Pick Me Up, Nikita, Dusted Truffle, Saddle Brown, Grand Canyon, Mason's Song, Beaver Dam Brown, Sepia, Whaleman's Sepia, Sepia Black, Coco de Brazil, and Muskrat. Now, just for snorts and giggles, I do want to look at one of the... I'm thinking thoughts about... It's either a yellow or an orange. For sparkling champagne, autumn, and auburn. Califolio Inti, Cornaline de Egypt, Kyong-hee. Solar Storm. KWZ Monarch. Red Panda. Marigold. It must be in the yellows because I'm not seeing the one I'm thinking thoughts about. Pending Sands. No. Thinking thoughts about a color, but I am... Aha! Pure Pens Cotswold. Robert Oster African Gold. Diamine Louise. Diamine Golden Sands. Diamine Three Kings. Birmingham Apple Snail. There was one more that I was thinking thoughts about. Can't find it. Oh well. Those are the closest ones that I can think of. Can't really think of. Would it be in the blacks? I'm trying to find citrus black. This kind of reminds me of citrus black. I don't know. Alright, well, what did you guys think of today's ink? Are you guys looking for a brownish, kind of a yellowy brownish ink? Do you have this ink? What are your thoughts on this ink? Are you looking for a brown ink? Let me know in the comment section below. That's all I've got for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. And I will be back in a few minutes with a Bujo setup video for next month. So take care until then. Okay, love you, bye. Have a great day.